Hey everybody, welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter. It's day 2, and we are getting started inside of Adobe XD. If you're new here, if you're just learning Adobe XD, if you are a return customer and you love Adobe XD and you're an expert, this is going to be an awesome place for you to be. Jump in the live chat, start talking. Let's start chatting. Aaron Hunter's in the chat. Sam Peterson's moderating. We've got Joshua Davis and wow, just people jumping. When you jump in, tell me where you're coming from. Like Laura says, hello. She gives me a little emoji. That's nice, but I also want to know, where are you coming from in the world on this fine Taco Tuesday? That's what we want to know. So jump in and let me know, and let's get started. I'm going to head right over here to my screen so you can see what we're doing. This is the XD Daily Creative Challenge. Build your XD skills in just 9 challenges. You hit that blue button right there to take the challenge and be part of it. And here's how it plays out if you're new to it. Number 1, each day you're going to receive a challenge. As I scroll down, you see yesterday we did transitions and animations, and today we're going to do some product options, a little e-commerce product page option controls, and you get your starting file right there. You can join the community chat, not just this live chat, but the XD Discord server that has over 30-something thousand creatives in it. This is where you're going to find friends and get feedback and critique on your work and grow as a creative. It's also where you will post your work if you want to, and I'll be able to look in there like I'll be doing at the end of the stream today and check out your work and give you feedback live here on the live show. So join the XD Discord server as well. Then you watch the daily show. You're already doing that. That's good stuff. And then again, share that work either to Discord and or over on Behance by creating a project and sharing it there with the hashtag XD Daily Challenge. That way I can search for it and find it. So with that being said, why don't we just really quickly talk about letsxd.com, because it's still and is and will always be one of my favorite resources for Adobe XD things. You want to learn what's new, you want to learn something specific, you can do that. Like for instance, maybe Jay Swanson saying hello from Portland, Oregon. Maybe he wants to find something interesting on letsxd.com. Let's see, let's jump over to our file for the day, our starting file, which you can download. A little bit about the challenge. We're going to bring an e-commerce product page to life with color, size, and quantity options. Try using component states, maybe even a little bit of auto-animate to make them bad boys work. It's going to be lots of fun. Sam Peterson posting some awesome links in the chat to the Discord and the link for you to register to the challenge. All right, so that's pretty cool. We got Ariana in the house, Jay Swanson, Joshua Davis, Laura Steneva. Well, okay, Tia Reed. Everybody is here. And let's just kick this party off so I don't run out of time. Let's call this product page. I'm just going to rename my layer in the layers panel. If you're new to Adobe XD and you're wondering, what do I mean layers panel? Down here in the left-hand side, you can see I am currently on the layers panel, but we also have an assets panel and we have a plugins panel. And by clicking those, it's going to change my left-hand bar to see different things. And right now we're just looking at all those layers. My 19 by 20 by 1080 artboard has just like a real chill, kind of like neutral, kind of grayish, taupe-ish color in the background, and your starting file should have something similar to mine. Something similar. It may not be exactly the same, but it's going to be pretty similar. So Cornell says ultra soft XD. Did I say? I don't know what that means. Did I say something about ultra soft? I don't know, but let's get going. So what we want to do here is we have a product page. Oh yeah, I see. Super ultra soft t-shirt. That's right. I can't even read my own design. That's what everyone's pointing out. So yeah, our company is called Super, and this is the Super Ultra Soft t-shirt. What a generic name for it. But we have a spot for maybe some images. We have a price, and this is what's called hipster ipsum, not lorem ipsum, but hipster ipsum. It has some hip words inside of it, so we don't have to have actual content today. And then we have the start of a button. But what we want to do is somewhere in here, we want to create a space where people can choose their size and possibly quantity and maybe color options. So let's do that. First things first, let's bring in some images. I have a Finder window open that has a t-shirt. I have 2 different shots of the same shirt, just different angles. And I've taken each of these shots and I've taken them into Photoshop and just added a little color and saturation. So it's like I have different colors of the same shirt. And I did that for each of those different shots or different versions of the image. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to pop it in there, and let's take this one and pop it in there. Now, the reason I did that neutral background is because these images are kind of white in the background, so I wanted them to pop a little bit. It's pretty common for e-commerce, especially modern e-commerce websites, to be very chill, to be very modern and very subdued on colors so that the product is the thing that pops out. And so that's what we're kind of doing, okay? So, we have our images in there. Again, these are shapes, and I just drug the image in. They're masked now. So if I double click on any one of these, I can actually manipulate the image inside and therefore manipulating my mask. Like, let's say I want a little bit more of the shirt, a little bit less of this dead space. We can do that. That's kind of a nice look, right? I'm into it. I'm digging it. All right. Joshua Davis says, time for some change. No more lorem ipsum. That's right. We want things that say letterpress, bespoke, poutine, kombucha, whatever, church key, taxidermy swag. Okay, here's my recommendation. Use hipster ipsum. Never read it out loud like I just did. That might be a no-no. I'm gonna move myself over to the side so we can see things that are going on in the right-hand bar, because that's gonna be important here in a minute. Because we have our price and we have our explanation. It might be a little bit too much, so let's just tuck that up. And we have this prime spot. Before we go any further though, let's make our button text something that says like add to cart. That would probably be pretty important. Okay, add to cart. It spelled out the number 2. We don't want that. So add to cart, let's turn it into area text. So it's just being encapsulated there. And we're using a font called Inter for our sans serif font. And we're using another one called Stix General for our serif font, okay? But let's bring this guy up to like maybe a medium. There we go, that works. And I'm gonna zoom in here. And I feel like that's probably good. We could give it maybe like just a little bit more size and then maybe a little bit more space. Again, I'm gonna grab both of these. I'm gonna call it button. I'm gonna turn on my padding. We want it, I'm gonna hold down the tilde button. This is a great use of this. In Adobe XD, if I hold down the tilde on my keyboard, I can actually manipulate the spacing visually instead of using the numbers over there in the right-hand panel. So now we have our button. That's looking pretty good. Command or Control K, we have turned it into a component. All right, pretty cool. Now what we want to do is let's do size. Okay, I'm gonna hit E for ellipse. But first, before I do anything else, I'm gonna make sure all this is lined up using my alignment tools, something like that. And now I'm gonna hit E for ellipse. Why don't we draw a little bit of an ellipse out like that? We won't fill it with anything, and we will give it a border, maybe a 2-pixel border, okay? Let's zoom in here, and let's take, I actually really like this sans serif, so why don't we bring this in here and just give it an S for small. Oh, and not rotate, we wanna size that thing down, okay? That's pretty good. Okay. And let's just grab both of them, blink, like that, and call it size. Okay, so we have small. Let's go 25 pixels there. Let's go medium. Whoa, that is really big. Capital M? No, not capital M. That's bad news. Let's make sure these are center aligned so we're not messing around with our alignment there. And let's drop the size down. It's a little big, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with a little bit of eyeball work. You just look at it with your eyes and you go, that ain't right. Anybody else eyeball your work out there? Or is everybody just way better than me at staying to grids all the time? Are you a grid person? When do you eyeball? That's the question. All right, so let's stretch this one out. Let's just do an L for large right there. Alrighty, and you know what? I'm here and I'm realizing this sans serif's not working. So let's go over to Enter. And let's capitalize these. There you go. That's much easier to see, I think, just at a glance. So we're gonna just bring the size down, but let's bump it up to there you go. And I'll tell you what, let's take our 2 ellipses that are not currently selected, and let's just drop the opacity of that down, shall we? Okay, so now we have a size selector, and they could be a little bit big, so we could bring it down just a tad. Just 5 minutes and I'm enjoying it so much, Joshua Davis says. All right. Cornell says, no employer will consider your portfolio if there's no hipster ipsum in your projects. That could be true. That could be true. Okay. So let's just name these over here. Size small, size medium, and size large. Now we absolutely could have created components and component states out of these. That probably would have been a little bit easier, but we didn't do that. So let's just grab all of them, and I'm gonna make a component out of all of them and call this size options control. Now what I will do is, with all of them selected, my new size options control, I'm gonna come over here to this contextual panel, see where it says component main. I have a current default state. I wanna hit the little plus and create a new state, and I wanna name this one medium, okay? Not medium with a tilde at the end, just medium. What am I gonna do there? I'm literally just gonna go from 11% on the medium, and I'm gonna take the other one and drop it down to 11%. That's it. That's medium. Okay, let's make one more, a new state. We'll call that one large, and we're gonna do a similar thing there. Take the opacity of that guy all the way up and bring the opacity of this one down to medium. Pretty cool, just like that. Now, if you've never done components and component states, real easy concept. One component, multiple states, and now we wanna animate our component, give it interactions in between those states. This way I don't have to have multiple artboards with every artboard having the tiniest little change. I can take this component, give it states, and those states will last throughout every instance of the component. Here's what I mean. I'm gonna go up to my prototype tab, and with the default state selected, I'm gonna say, what happens if I click on medium? Well, I wanna tap on that and say on tap, I wanna transition to the medium state. See, we're either gonna have like different things we can go to. We can bring in different artboards, overlays, or states of the component. That's pretty cool. How about we do a little, let's do a snap action. Pretty cool. And then while we're here, we also want to be able to just switch right over to the large, doing the same thing. Okay, now we have prototyped all of the different options within the first state, that default state. Now we got to go to the medium state and do a similar thing to the other possible options. Small, we want to auto-animate over to the default state, and we want to auto-animate over to the large state. Great, done. Let's select the large state one more time and just make sure this one can go to medium, and this one, tap that blue little circle there, that tap state, and go to the default state. Great. Now let's make sure we have our default state selected. That's where it's going to start. And let's press Let's press play in our prototype and pray that it works. Here we go. So you can see as I roll over, I get some sort of like little indicator that these are tappable. I'm going to tap on them and it's just switching. That's it. That's all you got to do. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's all we needed from that one. It was so simple. Let's do a little bit more of a complex one. Let's nest some component states. Okay, and let's see which one. I'm thinking we got to do quantity and we got to do color, and we got a little bit of time left, so we're making good time. I did want to point out this one thing. If I open up my assets panel, see I have my component. This one is called, let's name it size. I could drag out another version of size, and look, now they're all capable of having the different states of that component. Amazing. So I could have that on multiple pages or multiple artboards. If I make a change once, it's going to cascade change across my project. Bam, mind-blowing, amazing. Okay, can you rename the label for the default state? Ariana says, I don't think so. And I think, yeah, I've heard that might be on the horizon though. That's just hot drama rumors though. Don't take it from me, but I think we'll probably get there. Okay, it's nice to be able to customize. I agree with you, Ariana. It would be nice. So let's talk to Howard Pinsky and the team and just say, come on, y'all. Maybe put that in the queue on the roadmap. Okay, let's move this down here and let's do color now, shall we? I'm gonna zoom in. Let's hit ellipse again. Bingo. And this time I'm gonna try to be smarter, okay? I'm gonna make components and component states out of these guys. So we have the white version of our shirt. That's good. And let's do another circle and just do a border like that. Does that work out all right? I think that works. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, it could be smaller. And let's grab both of these elements. We'll call this what are we gonna call this? We're gonna call this the color, and we're gonna call this the ring. I could have called it active state, but ring works too. I'm gonna group them together. I'm gonna call this color option. Bam, Command or Control K. I made a component out of it. Let's create. What should we do? What should we do? Wait a minute. Let's go back. I have an idea. Let's go back. Yeah, we have the color. Let's go active ring. I went way back, okay? I changed in my mind. I was like, I don't like the way I'm doing that. So let's do another color over here. What do we have? I think we have like a yellowish color. So let's do kind of like this yellow orangey color that we have. Okay, watch, it's all going to come together. It's going to make sense. You're going to be like, now I get what you're doing, Jesse. Okay, and we also have a purple color. Okay, and we have our active state. So let's space these apart a little bit more. I'm going to grab all three of the colors and I'm going to use my distribution tool. That worked out great. And let's go color W for white. Let's go color O for orange. And let's go color P for purple. Now let's take all three of them and let's group them together. Say color options. Again, Command or Control K, component states, right? State 2 is going to be orange. And literally all I want to do this time is just move my active ring over. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Let's do another one. Let's call this purple. And I'm just going to move it over. Boom, that's it. Okay, so now we have the different states. Now what's cool is when we go into prototype and we're going to use auto-animate, we just kind of saw the other one transition. We're going to see some stuff move. So if I click here, I want to auto-animate over to purple. If I click here, I want to the other one was orange. This one is purple. Let's do all the other states too while we're here. Really similar. It's not, once you learn how to do these different component states, it's a game changer. It shuts down the amount of artboards you have to do one simple interaction. And I'm telling you, it just changes your game. It allows you to do so much. So let's go to orange on that. Pretty cool. And let's go back to the default state. We should be able to press play, and now we should be able to see our little active state move, and we're still able to change the size and all this. Okay, now we want to do something a little bit more complex, right? We want to nest these components in component states, because when I hit the color change, I need the t-shirts to change, don't I? So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to grab the shirts, shirt images, and we're going to have to make a component out of it. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of it initially. I'm going to bring it back out. Okay, so now I have an instance of the, let's go back. Actually, we want the master out there. So we have our component. This is the default state. We need to do the same thing, right? We need orange out there. What are we going to do? In our orange state, we're going to replace some images. Okay, boom and boom. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to do another state. We're going to do the purple state. What are we going to do? Same thing. We're going to replace some images like that. Okay, and let's go back to our default state. I think we had kind of a shift of sizing. So let's just put them in the way that they were kind of stock. That way we now have the different states of the shirt. Pretty cool. Everybody with me so far? Okay, I'm gonna try to answer questions as soon as I crank through and finish this last little piece. Let's grab, we now have this component and we now have this component. Let's grab both of them and make a nested component, shall we? Command or Control K. Let's go color control I don't know, we'll just call it color control connected. That's our new component that's there. And what we want to do is we want to select our option here. Let's go to prototype. So let's zoom in, shall we? I'm going to do, not only is it going to on tap auto animate to orange, but on, ooh man, oh, we can't do two of the same. So oh, you know what we have to do? Sorry, I just realized. Okay, check it out. We have this new complex nested component, right? We need to go in and make the different states of it. So here's a new state, orange, master, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna go in and select each one and move it to its appropriate state. Each of these components have their states. We nested them, and now we can kind of command them and tell them what to do. Now we're going to do another new state. I'm going to call this one purple, master. Okay, we're going to go in, change each one of these to purple, just like that. Boom, I love it. Now, I think what we need to do is we have the ability to kind of tap back and forth. I'm gonna put in some invisible tap areas. This is gonna help us, okay? So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna draw a rectangle here. Let's make sure it's inside, just like that. And I'm gonna make it invisible. We're tracking with it. We'll call this tap 1. Let's do another one. Let's call that one tap 2. Okay, just like that. And we're gonna do one more, and we're gonna call it tap 3. Okay, these are gonna bring our whole thing together. And you know what we might need to do really quickly? We might need to delete these other states and do them again, because now we have these invisible tappable areas, okay? Sorry if I confused you guys. Let's do this one more time. We'll call it orange master. We'll come in and we will change our component guys to the correct states. Okay, let's just stop there and let's go back. Let's see if we can flip back and forth between the two. What we want to do is go to prototype. We want to hit our little tappable state here on orange, and we want to say, hey, on tap of our invisible tappable area, we want you to animate over to orange master. Okay, then we want to go to orange master and we want to come back. So hey, we're going to tap here, bink, come back to our default state. Beautiful. Okay, we should be able to tap over and back. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I'm into it. Okay, and we could do the same thing with our purple, of course. We'd want to do that. But right now it doesn't have that because we didn't add that prototype off of the invisible tappable area. I wish I had time. I was going to do a quantity changer, but that would be homework for you folks that are submitting your work to the Discord or to your Behance profile. So make sure you do try to figure out how to do a quantity kind of changer. So it would literally just be, let's go design really quick. It would be a rectangle, maybe something like this. Okay. And you would put, I don't know, like some text inside of it with your number, like you have 1, and then you'd want to put your little minus and your little plus over here, and you'd want to grab all of them and make a component out of it and then add different states. And what I'd like to do actually is, ooh, if I was you, I would go like this, 2, 3, and I would somehow mask this out. So on state number 2, I would roll that up and you'd actually see the animation of the quantity going back and forth. So try something like that. And then, oh, just design wise, I would probably do it like this. I'd probably put the quantity here so all my controls for options are similar, but that's your homework for those of you who are gonna submit your stuff with your super ultra soft t-shirt. Let's jump over to a couple of submissions on the Discord from yesterday's challenge. Yesterday's challenge was to create an e-commerce page where you could transition, or excuse me, animate back and forth between a category page like this and a product page. This person actually created that. Oh, look at our little auto animates back and forth. We got details. Close it, and there was some really fun, I don't know if you saw at the beginning, there was some really fun little interactions with kind of like tapping anything on the screen, kind of like a room setup, a little bit of auto animate action there. This one was submitted by Anion, and it's a great example of what you can do. This one was by S. Showalter. Are you stealing my name right now? That's awesome. We have a category page and a product page. Let's see. Okay, we went full screen. We can scroll down, tap on it. Nice, smooth, dissolve transition. Easy, nice, clean. I love it. You don't have to be all fancy. It could be that beautiful and that simple. This one is by Khalifa. So let's check this submission out. Okay, browse sofas. Got an anchor link that takes us down. I love the background blur that's there. The auto animate that shoves it right up into space, or into the kind of like presentational view of the product. I love that. The only thing I might change is I might make this back button, I might worry about my contrast on that and make that like white, so it's very clear that that's what it is. You got to just be a little bit concerned about primary, secondary, tertiary kind of call to actions. But I love this idea, the introduction or introducing that background blur kind of thing. Everything looks really clean. Maybe another recommendation I have would be to maybe check these border radiuses. They look like a little bit in between what you actually want, which is like maybe either a pill or a really subtle rounded button, or maybe just really angular. I don't know. Maybe that's your style. Maybe it's just personal preference that I'm kind of sharing right now. I am not sure, but my internet is also not wanting to allow me to look at any more of your beautiful pieces of work. And that's a shame, because there was a lot of other really good ones. Sorry, my internet's bad right now, but let's do this. Make sure you submit your stuff, or if you want to, right here, you could take your work and you could export the selected artboard. And if you had multiple artboards, you could select all of them. You could export them to your desktop if you weren't having internet problems like I'm having. And then you could create your project over here in Behance, and you could upload that beautiful piece of work that we just created. You could hit create a project, and you could have yourself a project on Behance. But just make sure when you upload it, put a little description in there. Let us know what you were doing. Maybe even export a link out of Adobe XD in the Share tab right over here, and put a link to your interactive prototype. That'd be a really cool thing to see as well. And put a hashtag of XD Daily Challenge so we can find it. With that being said, let's check the schedule, and we have got to get out of here. Coming up right after me is Design in the Dark with Happy Impulse and Andrew. Right before me was video editing, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow on the XD Daily Creative Challenge. I hope you guys had fun. Can't wait to see your work. Can't wait to talk to you guys in the Discord chat. We'll see you later.